Hello and welcome to another video. So in this one we're going to be looking at the Sportscar Worldwide Porsche Cup League again. If you want to check them out, just check the links in the description below. We'll jump straight into qualifying here. So this is the first flying lap I did in qualifying, and as you'll see I did go straight into the pits after the first lap because I've learnt that to start on the tyres in a lobby that you want to start on, you need to exit the pits for qualifying on those tyres. So obviously I wanted to start on the softs, so did a lap on the softs and come straight in to put the supers on from a qualifying lap, and then do a nice slow out lap to try and protect your tyres as much as you can, ready for your flying lap. See here, this is probably the most awkward corner on the track, because if you get it wrong it really bumps you out to the outside and you can end up on the gravel. But you see we are purple at the moment coming into this final sector. Then here up into fourth just to try and reduce the understeer so I don't run wide, and then try and take as much curb as you dare on both corners there. As long as you keep two tyres on the curb you don't get a penalty. And we set an 18.8, which is a really good time. So we go back into the pits and put a new set of supers on and go for another lap, see if we can beat that time. Braking after the 100 metre board, getting turned in, trying to keep it flat through here, but if you don't quite get the line you need a little lift. To be honest, we probably could have stayed flat there, so we probably lost a little bit of time. Braking after the barrier on the right and turning in, and then braking a little bit just after that white box and just trying to keep it right on the curb and accelerate as you get to the apex. So again, we didn't quite run all the way wide on the track there, so could have probably gained a bit more time there. And then here, braking just where the curb starts, turning in, said trying to hit the apex perfectly so the car doesn't bounce. Use that curb on the exit. Again here, just tiny tap of brake after the red barrier, get it down a gear, turned in. Again turn in at the end of the curb, just a little lift before the apex, up into fourth and accelerate out. And then braking slightly here between the two barriers, as much curb as you dare, keep the tyres on the curb there, and then just a run to the line. See have we improved that time. We have it's an 18.698, which gives us pole, so I was very happy with that time because I was expecting either a high sort of 18.9 or a 19.0, so I was really happy with that qualifying time. So we get traction control on and away we go. Turn traction control back off as we start, get the radar on to see where everyone is, and as you see it looks like we get a very good start from pole. Maybe better than those around us, so we're going to keep it to the inside, try and keep it on the track, keep that position, which we do, and no issues, which is exactly what we wanted to start this race. It looks like Andy there's got up into second from the start as well, to behind us. And then first few laps just trying to settle into the race, see how it goes, not have any incidents, and protect those tyres. But we'll just go back and look at the start again. You see there, looks like everyone gets a fairly decent start except Ian there in 6th place, loses 2 places right off the start, so not the greatest getaway for Ian there, but it looks like everyone else got a fairly good getaway. Except maybe James there. I think James maybe lost 2 positions there. But we'll move back onto our point of view now. So we're going to see can we drop these behind, but as you see I've been trying to learn how to protect the tyres, and I've been using the half braking method. So if you look, I'm braking early for every corner, or most corners, but I'm not putting more than about 50% braking pressure in, which is actually quite awkward to do on the G29 pedals, which is what I use, because the travel's not very far on them, so it is quite awkward to do consistently, but you can do it with a bit of practice. So just coming into turn 1 now, and again we're not worried about losing the lead here, so again we just brake early, we let Andy go, but then Kevin makes an opportunistic move there, which was a good move from Kevin. So we've just settled behind him, but again early in the race I wasn't worried about being in first place at this point, because like I said, I'm just trying to protect my tyres, which is easier to do if you're not looking over your shoulder. If you're just following someone, it's easier to look after your tyres. So I was more than happy as long as Andy wasn't going to pull away, because as I said in the last round, Kevin was a little bit of a roadblock to me at points, but he looks a lot faster at this track, so I'm more than happy at the moment to sit behind him as long as Andy doesn't pull away. But it does look like James is still in our slipstream behind, so there is still 4 of us in this front group at the moment. You see there, Kevin really going mowing the grass there. So easy to run wide at that corner, carry a bit too much speed. So coming down to turn 1 again. Looks like Kevin's very close to Andy there, and is he going to go for the move? He does, I think. He gets it onto the inside. Andy just turns in and touches him, which sends Andy wide, which gives us the run on Andy, so we're going to go past as well. And it looks like Andy might have clipped the curb there, because that does unsettle the car a little bit, but he's managed to hold on to it. And again now we're happy just to sit here behind Kevin. If he's got the pace, I'm happy to let him have the lead and just look after my tyres and use his slipstream. So as you see, different braking markers to what I was using in the quali, braking sort of 30 to 50 metres early depending on the corner, and as I said, just applying half braking, and you will notice it really does protect your tyres a lot doing that. And yes, you lose time, but you don't lose that much time, so it's definitely worth doing if you're in an opportunity to do it. We see Kevin got a poor run out the final corner again, so we decide to go for it because I think I have got the pace on him, so decide to go for that move. But is he going to look for it? No, doesn't look like he's going to send it up the inside, so we take the apex and we're away. So now I decided I'm still trying to look after the tyres, but on this lap I am aiming to pull away from Kevin a little bit, see if I can drop a gap, and then I don't have to worry about him trying to get back past me then. So it looks like after we dropped him out of slipstream, we got a better exit. Looks like we might have just got away from him, so if we can have a good right-hander here, we might have a chance of keeping out of the slipstream. We do, and it looks like that gap's coming down still though, but we are still out of slipstream range, and now the gap looks like it's going up massively. So does that mean something's gone on behind maybe? And as you look, yeah, Andy's gone up, so maybe they had a side by side and slowed each other down. So that's give us a nice comfortable gap now to where we can just look to control that gap and protect our tyres best we can. So you see we just jump ahead to lap 13 now, and as you see Andy's back in our slipstream now. It's caught us back up, and I was going to pit here, and last minute I changed my mind and decided not to, because I thought, well, Andy's probably going to pit, so I'll try and do one more lap. Okay, I'll probably come out behind him, but I was hoping one lap fresher tyres I could push and that I'd be able to catch him up. But I think this was maybe a mistake, because as you can see my tyres are very worn at this point, especially the front and rear right-hander. So you see we're not quite taking the same apex speed now, but we aren't half braking anymore because we're obviously pushing on our in lap. But you can just see the understeer there struggling to get the car turned in. So we're definitely losing quite a bit of time now. So as I said, I think I realised during this lap that not coming in was a mistake. I was banking on getting one lap less on the second stint and not having to worry about protecting my tyres at all. So we'll see where we come out, but as I said, we'll probably come out behind, but it's how far behind. I was hoping we would be about 1.5 seconds behind when we come out the pits, so let's see what happens as we come in now. Put the softs on. Maybe could have took a risk and gone for supers, but I don't know if they would have lasted well enough. But there we go, so let's see, where's Andy? There we go, he just goes past there, but we're trying to get back up to speed, so it looks like he might be over 2 seconds ahead of us, yeah. So he must have put in a really fast out lap there, Andy, because he's got to nearly 3 seconds ahead of us now. So that's a big gap for us to try and close, which I think proves that that decision to stay out 1 lap was the wrong decision, because he's still pulling away from us even, so he's really pushing on this lap by the looks of it. So we're just trying to protect the tyres on this out lap, and then we should be able to just fly for the final 10 minutes then, and try and see if we can pump in decent laps and catch Andy. But he has got a bigger gap than what I was wanting him to have, a much bigger gap, so don't know if we'll be able to make up that time, but we'll see. So he's just coming into the final corner now, so obviously now we're just going to go for it, see if we can catch, but that gap is up to 4 seconds now, and as you see, an 18.7 from Andy in the race there, so unbelievable lap that. So he made the most of the undercut, and he's put in a stellar out lap and then a stellar first fast lap, and put an unbelievable time for in the race, that an 18.7. so our work's going to be on here. The only thing that might be in our favour, as he took too much out of his tyres in those 2 fast laps. But let's see what sort of lap we can do. Can we start to close the gap? It does look like we're coming down a bit, but not by much. We've only gained about 2 tenths so far on this lap. And that gap's not coming down at all anymore, so we're lapping about the same pace here by the looks of it. But let's see when we come across the line, because we're just over 4 seconds when we cross the line at the start of the last lap. So we are going to have gained on him, but it's definitely not by enough, because I think we've gained 2 tenths there, but look at 19.0, so we're 3 tenths off the fastest lap that Andy put in on his fresh tyres. And we're going to jump ahead to the end of the race now, and as you see, Andy has pulled away, and he just had an unbelievable second stint there. And you see I've totally took the life out of my tyres, so unfortunately he started to pull away again. So well done there, Andy, unbelievable second stint there to get the win. So as I said, I think we could have done with pitting a lap earlier, but we'll learn from that. So we'll just start this second race now, starting from the back, because obviously it's a reverse grid race this, so me and Andy will have to come through the field here. And you see we get a good start. Looks like Ian gets a poor start again there. Looks like someone on pole. Martin gets a poor start, and Mike maybe got a poor start there as well. So it looks like there's a few people didn't quite get off the line the way they would have wanted. Look, Kevin just goes wide, and I think James there tries to avoid him and ends up pit manoeuvring himself off Alex's car, I think there, unfortunate. There we have got Andy on the inside, so not going to fight him, let him go through. Because we can use him as he picks each car off, we can try and follow him through. Use him as a bit of a battering ram to help us pass. So we'll see if me and Andy can pull through here, but very wide line from Andy, cutting the grass on the outside there and getting very close to the pit wall, which is, you definitely don't want to be putting yourself into that pit wall. So it looks like moves going on up ahead, is there? Like Kevin's going to hold third place there. Andy looked like he was going to go for the move but had to back out there. But he is going to go for the move on Alex now by the looks of it. Gets on the inside, Alex gives him plenty of room, but that slows him down. We look at the outside and we do back out, which was a good job, because to be fair, I don't think there's any way of Alex knowing we're going to be on the outside there. So I think I had to back out there. The move was too risky to go for. So we'll see if we can pass him here. Can we? No, we can't quite get the exit, but we've got the slipstream, so will we be able to look for the move down into turn 1 maybe? But he has got the slipstream up ahead as well, remember, and we are trying to protect tyres, but sometimes you need to go for the move. But I do decide to just let him keep that, not going to send the dive, not an emergency at the moment. But he just gets loose on the exit, so he makes our job a lot easier. You see Kevin and Andy battling away there, and it looks like Kevin brakes a bit too late and just goes off into the wall. So again, two nice easy places there for us coming through the field, which is more than what you can ask for really. And now it looks like Andy's right on the back of James as well now. So can he get the exit? So it looks like he's close enough, because first place has pulled away. So Andy's probably going to go for the move here. We're probably too far back, so we're probably going to have to wait it out, which we do. Just brake early, protect them tyres, let them both go side by side. But it looks like James kept hold of that there. Is Andy going to get the run out the corner though? Does look like he's going to look for the inside. Does he get his nose in? Might have been contact there, and we then bump Andy because we got nowhere to go, but we get past. So might have been a bit of contact there, so we'll go back and have a look at that. So let's look from Andy's point of view. Does stick his nose in. Maybe he should have backed out, maybe the move wasn't on there, but he did have his nose in. But let's look from James's point of view. Yeah, just a little tap, but James maybe should have given more space. Andy maybe should have just waited an extra lap before going for that move. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I think that's just one of them incidents. I don't think there's much in it really. I think you could argue it either way. So we continue on in third place here. So again, now we're going to decide to work with Andy rather than battle each other, because we need, I think the race is between us two, but it's pointless racing now. Protect the tyres and let's try and catch up to Mike, and then we'll battle it out for first place later on in the race. But it does look like there's a fair gap to Mike there, but he makes an error and goes wide and spins off that wall, so we get an easy pass there. So now it'll look like it's back to a two-horse race between me and Andy here to see who can take the victory, but still got 25 minutes of this race to go, so see if anyone's on any alternate strategies might come through the field later on. But Andy already looks like he doesn't want to be giving me the slipstream there. But as I said, at this stage I'm more than happy for him to have the lead and for me to look after my tyres. As long as his lead doesn't get too big, I'm more than happy to just sit behind him. You see, we have actually dropped out the slipstream, which I wasn't too worried about. I'd prefer to be in his slipstream, but I'm more than happy to be that distance behind. But as you see, lap 12 now as we skip ahead. we are right back in Andy's slipstream. So I was starting to think now, maybe it's time for me to take the initiative 10 minutes into the race. You know, if I get the opportunity, should I take the lead? But we are coming up on a back marker here, Martin, and I love passing Martin because as you look there, just throws himself off the track to get out the way, which he doesn't have to do, but it always gives me a little laugh every time I manage to lap Martin, because he does do an excellent job of getting out the way, which he doesn't have to do. All he has to do is, you know, allow us to pass. He doesn't have to fully move off the racetrack, but we're going to go for the move now. So I'm going to brake late this time, and we do get that move done down into turn 1, which, to be honest, on this track is the only real proper overtaking point. You can overtake, as we've seen Andy do twice, into this corner, but it can be risky, and you can overtake into the final corner, but again it can be very risky, and also you can sometimes overtake and get a poor run and you just get repassed into turn 1 anyway. So turn 1 is definitely the overtaking spot. But have we managed to drop Andy? No, he's still in our slipstream, so will he possibly be looking to go for the move back to take the lead back into turn 1, or will he happily sit behind me? Looks like he might be too far back on this occasion, but we do brake late. We don't half brake this time, just to make sure we stay ahead. As you see, he is still there right in our slipstream. We've not managed to drop him at all, but we'll see what he can do. Coming through the S's now, as close to this wall as you can, and then as close to that wall as you can. And then in the race I was taking this little bit lift early, half braking, just to try and protect the tyres, but it's a very awkward corner to judge the best braking point on. Looks like we might have got a better exit than Andy there, but he keeps in the slipstream and he starts to pull it back, but again I don't think he's close enough to go for the move, so hang on to it this time. So it looks like we're lapping the same as what we were when he was in the lead, and he's now happy to just try and stay with me and not let me pull away, which is how I felt when I was sat behind him. So looks like it might be after the pit stops that a bit more action happens, but you never know, he might decide to go for it. But you see, we go a bit wide there, don't quite get the turn in. Andy gets a much better entry into the corner. We get the slightly better exit with the right turning, but because of the slipstream, he's 3/10 closer this time than he has been on any other lap. So I'm looking behind, is he going to go? And a half 40 is going to go for this. If you look at brake a little bit early, and he does go for it, and he on worn tyres, braking that late, he was always going to struggle to stop, and we get the cut back, so delayed our turn in slightly. So that's helped us out there, because that gives us a bit of a buffer now. We have got a gap. I think Andy might be thinking in future he might not go for that move on worn tyres and just happily sit behind me and wait till after the pit stops. But he could have made that move stick, and he could have been the one in first place making the decisions on the pit stops. So, you know, you never know what's best till you go for the move. But as you see, we have dropped him now, so we're going to jump ahead to lap 21, where we are going to come in and pit, and we've still got that 2-second gap. Andy stays out, which isn't surprising that he does the opposite to me. Here we go, put some fresh soft tyres on. And we come out in some nice clean air by the looks of it, which is what we want. So now we're just going to be looking to put lap after lap in, see where Andy comes out the pits, because I'm presuming he's going to be pitting on this next lap now. And then see if we can hold him off, because like I was chasing him down in the first race, he'll be chasing me down in this race by the looks of it. So has he gone into the pits? Yes, he's gone into the pits there, which is what we were expecting. So how big a gap can we have when he comes out the pits? Let's see, and let's see what tyres is he going to put on. As you see there, he put super softs on, which I did notice in the race. So I was now thinking here, oh, maybe I should have put super softs on. He's going to be faster, he's going to be flying, but will the super softs last? Because sometimes they do go off very, very quickly. And we jump ahead now to lap 30, and you see he has caught me up, and he has got fastest lap, so he's been putting good laps in. So now we've got 3 minutes left to defend from him. And into turn 1 there, we managed to hold it onto the apex, so he's got nowhere to go. But you see he gets a better drive out the corner with them softer tyres, but there's nowhere for him to go through there. Can't really go for the move on me here, because I think you need to be a fair bit quicker than the guy in front in order to go for the move into that corner. And then again through the S's here, he gets the run because he gets the exit on the soft tyre, super soft tyres, but there's just nowhere for you to go through there, so he's going to be looking to get a good exit. And it looks like he does get a better exit than us, because we get a poor exit onto the grass, so he's very close. So we're going to pull to the inside, try and use Martin for a bit of slipstream here, who stays out the way, so thanks for that, Martin. Sam's staying right to the inside as soon as he moves, trying to widen the corner, brake a little bit too early. Could have braked later and still made the apex, but that just braked a little too early, which allowed Andy to get a good move around the outside. So now I'm hoping his tyres are going off, and even though he's on the faster compound, we can try and repass him with a minute and a half left. So we've probably got 2 laps left to go. So we'll see what we can do in the last 2 laps. Can we get a good exit out of here? But we braked just a little bit too late, and we end up running deep, which is not what we want, because now we're going to have to really push to catch back up to him. If we'd have got a better exit there, we might have had a chance into turn 1, but we're way too far back now. As I said, probably 2 laps left to go now. So trying to get a good exit, but you see he is getting the slightly better exits than me, still on the softer tyres, but we're still in that slipstream, so we're getting pulled closer to him again. Again, take too much curb there, we get a bit of a better run, but again look, it just pulls away on the exit with the softer tyres, but then that slipstream does bring us back. So he is gaining the advantage from them tyres on the exits of the corners, but he goes a little bit deep there. We don't quite get the apex either, but again look, he just gets that better exit on those softer tyres than we can. We just struggle to get the power down. So unfortunately, final lap, and it doesn't look like we're going to be close enough for the move into turn 1. So we're going to have to, if the move's on, we're going to have to go for it in an unconventional place, maybe into the final corner, but we'll see if we can get close enough. But again, he just gets the exit on me, so unfortunately them super softs had lasted, so maybe I should have put the super softs on as well and just really pushed. But you see we have gained through there again, so we're now gaining through the S's, so we are quite a way back. But are we going to try and go for it? He brakes really early, we try to brake as late as we can, and it's just a little bit too late, and we end up taking him out there. Just unfortunately that corner, once you brake late you can't get it stopped. So you see we just lift, accelerate again, and then brake as late as we can, but unfortunately we just can't get it stopped. So you know, totally my fault that, but there's only 2 of us fighting for the lead. Final lap, final corner. He had left a gap on the inside, so I was doing everything I could to get my car onto the inside, but I just misjudged it. So said gonna let him back past here, because that's not how I want to win. But also I imagine for a move like that I'd have got a penalty if I had took the win from him anyway. So another good race. Well done to Andy there for managing to get the 2 wins. But like I said, if you're interested in checking Sportscars Worldwide out, links will be in the description. And if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.